Ever since CCP Helmar gave his update regarding Project Nova at the 2018 FanFest, players have been signing up for the newsletter and eagerly awaiting news regarding the project. Project Nova's lead developer CCP Bertati promised several weeks ago that the first edition of the newsletter would be coming soon, and true to his word, it was released earlier today. He starts off the letter by addressing the players as Elysians, a term meant to mirror the term Empyrean, often used to describe EVE Online capsuleers. Interestingly, the term Elysian comes from the Greek myth of the Fields of Elysium, a place where heroes and demigods would go after death and live in paradise. This is of course similar to the meaning of the Latin word Empyrean, or dwelling place of God. Both terms are of course a bit ironic given cyclical nature of life and death in the New Eden universe. Furthermore, looking into the lore of Dust 514 and the Warlords update, he hints that it was the rise of the Warlords of Molten Heath that ultimately caused some event to happen to trigger the downfall of the clone soldiers. This is reinforced by the timeline that was shown at FanFest and the delay between Dust being shut down and the launch of Project Nova later this year. Unfortunately, he is unclear about what exactly happened to cause the downfall, so I expect there will be a lot of story to dig into in future updates. He continues on to thank the community for all their dedication and support, and that the development team is looking forward to openly working with the community to evolve the game over time, and to encourage players to encourage other veterans to get involved. It would seem that the legacy of the clone soldiers will be a direct continuation of the story where Dust left off, so it's exciting to see that our legacy will remain intact. A hotly discussed topic has of course been the setting of Project Nova, as compared to Dust. While Dust took place on the surface of planets in New Eden, he confirms that the battles will instead take place on the exterior of EVE Online spaceships and structures. The goal is to bring the iconic imagery to EVE Online into the gameplay and show off the spectacle that comes with the New Eden game. Some players of course will be disappointed about the change, but the shift in setting will allow for a more interesting and potentially terrifying look into the New Eden universe. He then talks about their vision for their game, which is create a long and lasting persistent universe where a player's investment and choices extend far into the future, much like EVE Online. They're looking to launch with a handful of high quality features and then expand over time. This means that they'll likely be launching with a streamlined but strong foundation and then add features over time, particularly to develop a high-quality FPS experience to act as a backbone to all the interesting progression, customization, and gameplay elements for years to come. Additionally, Sumo Digital, a partner company for Project Nova, has hired a number of FPS veteran developers with a pedigree that spans from Crysis to Homefront to Star Wars Battlefront. This is a relief to many players who are concerned about Sumo Digital not having large FPS titles in their portfolio, but it would seem that they've hired some industry veterans to take on the project. Probably the most important part of the newsletter is when he describes the pillars of gameplay. While these pillars are not necessarily specific features, all elements of game will either support or be derived from the goals of these pillars. In short, this really tells us what kind of game Project Nova will be in the broadest of strokes. The first pillar represents the authentic New Eden experience, which features a dark, dystopian future where death matters and social systems tie the player base together. This is really the quintessential core of what makes a game feel like a New Eden game, and it's important that the team recognizes this core pillar. After that is the Infernal Machine, with an emphasis on risk and reward as well as mention of collecting, building, and destroying. Risk and reward are of course crucial to the type of gameplay expected for a New Eden game. However, the mention of collect, build, and destroy implies that we may be seeing more salvaging and crafting as opposed to Dust's economy, which was almost entirely based on purchasing gear from an NPC market. Next is customization, specialization, and expression. Customization is of course referencing the strong emphasis on drop suit fitting, with specialization speaking about well-defined drop suit roles and bonuses. Expression is likely in reference to the cosmetic systems, with dropsuit and weapon skins and other possible ways players can personalize their character. Teamwork is also a core pillar, rewarding, planning, and coordinating with other players. Given what we know about the class system and knowing the depth of customizations in these games traditionally, it's likely that Project Nova is designed more to reward the coordination of group on top of individual skill level. Finally, we have sustained replayability with a focus on procedurally generated content, a dynamic metagame, and sustained challenge. This is of course necessary if a game is designed to last over a long period of time, where content remains fresh even after being played for a long time. Interestingly, procedurally generated content is typically not a feature of PvP gameplay, which leads one to wonder if PvE content is in the mind of the developer. He confirms that the game will have a long time to kill with a higher reward and planning for tactics instead of twitch shooter ability. This is a relief for many Dust veterans who have often stated they enjoyed Dust's longer time to kill, more methodical gameplay as compared to other faster paced shooters on the market. Finally, he concludes by saying the team is made up of a mix of industry veterans with years of experience, as well as enthusiastic newcomers with fresh ideas. That being said, Project Nova is not simply a carbon copy of Dust, but is instead a mix of old and new ideas. The team has learned a lot from past experiences and want to carry on what worked and improve what didn't. They want to preserve the spirit of Dust while delivering a new Eden experience that is profoundly unique. Project Nova is being developed exclusively for PC and built on the Unreal 4 engine. CCP maintains that the game will be playable this year, so if you and your friends haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, head on over to the sign up page. The link is in the description below. And for all your Project Nova related news and discussion, stay tuned to Biomassed.com.